not take off.
Did they?
Now imagine IT did that. Coming to the end of the financial year, there's no more money for your email. Now you all have to pay, or your email gets turned off.
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, this is a scary thing, Chris. Half the audience is thinking, wouldn't that be terrible? And the other half are thinking, good idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. There would be cheaper services that the vast majority of people will be able to find. Isn't that a scary thought? Okay, it might not be as secure and stuff like that, but if my email was turned off, could I survive? Yeah, probably. I could get by. There's lots of other technology I could use.
Might not be your email, might be your broadband connection.
Ooh, now that would cause a problem.
Yeah, there was actually there was a survey in the States, and more people actually said they'd rather go without electricity than broadband, which says a lot about the intelligence of the people.
You heard Pat go very quiet there when he thought about the possibility of losing his access to porn.
I don't think that's exactly what he said, you know, Chris.
That's what I heard. What else is it used for? Rule 8.
And why do I not find that strange? By the way, duct tape, I heard a good reference to duct tape, and it was compared to the Force, because it's got a dark side and a light side, and it holds the universe together.
Drink more.
But on this thing about value, though, because Stephen's presentation was very well received, and when I was at the show, there was lots of people who referred to it and said, in some ways I was quite surprised, because there's some people who are quite eminent were saying, oh yeah, that was a great presentation, and almost as if it was the first time they'd thought about some of that stuff, which I was a little bit shocked by. But that whole thing about simplifying how we define value and simplifying how we then present that back, it's not as if we're doing a terribly bad job, it's just that we don't really manage to communicate it very well. That message still seems to be not being really heard by people, and the thing that really disappointed me at the show, I think I said at the time, was just there wasn't enough exciting or interesting new innovation from the vendors about how they might help to do that. Lots of suggestions coming from the floor, but not really very much new stuff that really kind of excited you about what we could be doing, how we could be defining value. And we're talking about the things like the surveys not being picked up. If we had better ways of actually quantifying those things, we wouldn't really need surveys. We'd have the data there already in a fairly standard way. And I think we need to pick up on that whole message about the value. I think it fits back to ITSM, but doing some very basic things, getting the basics right, and getting those metrics back in a way that is related to the business. The thing with the plane, the thing about the plane as well was, in the news it said, oh, by the way, there's some of the passengers were angry. Shock. Hold the front page. They were, they were annoyed because they'd paid $200 for a flight, but had to fork out, I don't know, $6,000.